Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, what I want to talk to you about is this whole concept of chasing your interest, not your passion. So the first thing I want to let you know is that purpose makes progress. Okay, purpose makes progress. Why do I say this? Because as long as you are moving in a direction that is not intentional and you have no purpose, then you are not moving at all. Without purpose, you are just basically setting yourself in a loop because eventually you're going to return right back here because of lack, right? Lack. You're gonna come right back here because of lack. So you wanna make sure that everything that you're doing in your life is purposeful and intentional. Now, this is gonna be a pretty long video, so if you don't have an attention span and you don't wanna grow your life, then just skip it. Share it with someone that you think will though. So here's the thing. Okay? Purpose is very important. And you shouldn't chase your passion in life because I think your passion is only derived from time, action, and interest. So you need to figure out what you're interested in. Okay? Look at all of your multitude of interests. Like for me, I'm interested in thinking, creating, meaningful work, genuine relationships, autonomy, right? I'm interested in all these things, and all of these things connected formulates value. Value that I can contribute to other people. So why do I say that? Because, I created a new, I don't know if you want to call it brand or newsletter or media company, whatever the case may be. And I'm calling it Purpose Canvas. And the goal of it is to help people who feel like they've been burnt out in their careers or burnt out in any endeavor that they've been chasing because they basically accomplished it. They're a high achiever, they accomplished it, and they realized that this wasn't the thing that they thought it was, right? I'm interested in helping them find their true purpose in life because this is something that I went through. And I started to realize that, number one, whenever I started thinking about the end goal, if I had a goal, that I don't even know what this is supposed to be. I just drew some. Anyways, whenever I have an end goal in mind, I start to put myself in a box, okay? And what happens is I get so tunnel vision and stuck on this that I don't see all of the opportunity outside of it. Okay? And then I start to get into a loop. And the loop is, how can I make this thing that I want in this box, how can I get that to work and ignore everything else? And so that becomes a real big issue. And the reason why that becomes a real big issue is because I'm limiting my creativity. I'm putting my creativity in a box before I've even let it expand, right? And so I had to stop doing that. And the only way I had to stop doing that was I had to stop thinking about the end goal. I had to start thinking about the journey. And so, because every time I do that, it's like counterproductive to me. It doesn't help, right? So when I started to just focus on the journey instead of the end goal, I started to realize that I can find creation through writing and video creation. I can find meaningful work through talking about something that I actually care about, which I care about purpose, right? I care about purposeful work. I can find, I can find, my interests lie in having an autonomous form of work. And I say autonomy, not freedom, because freedom is it can very easily turn into chaos, okay? Very easily turn into chaos. Because when you're free, when you have freedom, you're basically free to do whatever you want. And that means there's no limitations to what you would do. But autonomy is about showing up every day and choosing to do specific intentional things that you have the choice to do, and you choose to do them. You're not just free to do anything. You're not just, this ball of chaotic energy that's just doing whatever. It's very intentional. I like to think, right? I like creative thinking. And if I can't be a creative thinker, I'm gonna get bored, right? And I like genuine relationships. And I can find all of this through purposeful work. I can meet people that I genuinely like. I can have autonomy because I'm picking what I want to work on. I can do meaningful work. I can create things, and I can think a lot about the things that I'm creating, right? And altogether, when I formulate all of this stuff, because I'm going to show you, into this thing called Purpose Canvas, I start to create value for other people, right? And if you can create value for other people, then you can make money from the value that you're creating. All value is an alleviation of pain. When somebody hires you to do a job, they have a pain point. Their pain point is that they don't have time. They need you to basically take over the responsibilities and the roles that they're giving you so that they can have more time to do what they want. That's the value that you're contributing. And depending on the problem that you're solving in the market, that's directly related to how much you will make, from solving the problem. And it also depends, it's contextual, it's based off of who you're solving the problem for. For example, if you are a fitness coach and you're trying to work out with everyday people who don't really value their health that much, you're not gonna make that much money. But if you're working with athletes that depend on their body in order to make themselves money and to provide, the value that you're providing is way different. Their perspective will shift on the value that you're basically providing them, right? So for me, interest number one, the topic, purpose. Because this is something that I've been trying to figure out for myself. My career in marketing wasn't done out of purpose, it was done out of survival. It was done out of the fact that I needed a skill. It seemed like the fastest skill to learn, and I knew I could be good at it. So I said to myself, I'm just gonna learn it. And as I, dedicated more and more time to it, I started to realize the value of it. But then I started to also realize that there's a lot of people in corporations that do meaningless work. And because this has basically become the norm and what people expect, you have to basically, if you're working at a job, you have to deal with it, and you'll go crazy dealing with it. Or if you're working with your own clients, you have to basically program them out of this belief of doing busy work, right? And so because you needed more time to focus on the creativity, the things that's really gonna move the needle in their business. And I also think that roles in society are just a bad way of looking at people. I think we are all creative problem solvers made to solve problems. So your creativity shouldn't be limited to a job role and a specific subset of problems for you to fix. Because once you get good at that and you keep repeating the same thing over and over and over and over again, it's gonna get redundant, monotonous, and boring. And this is why people leave companies, right? So that's my first thing, is purpose. And purpose is very abstract, right? Because it's not only purpose in work, it's purpose in life, right? It's you have purposeful relationships, you have purposeful eating habits, purposeful workout routines, and so on and so forth, right? The next thing I knew is my other interest is derived from expression. And expression, what's derived from expression is video creation and writing, right? Now, I don't like the process of writing. I don't like sitting down writing for hours and stuff like that. To me, I find that boring. But I like the fact that there are no limitations to writing. I can become a fiction writer. I can write any type of thing that I want, and I can explore the world of the imaginary, the world that everybody has the capacity to explore, but everybody thinks differently. So just because we explore the same the same world, doesn't mean you'll come out with the same answer, right? Because ultimately, paradoxically, even though everybody can explore the same world, the worlds are also not the same, right? So it's like, that's very important to me. And then helping people is interest number 3, right? Helping people. I'm just gonna put PPL, right? Helping people. And what better way than to help people than to help them solve the problem that I had myself, right? Which is hate doing meaningless work, purposeless work, right? And I want to build something that I'm happy about. Whether it's, or not happy, because happiness is fleeting, happiness is contingent based upon a circumstance. You don't really want happiness, but what you want to do is you will build your passion through time, action, and interest, right? If you're interested in something and you commit enough time to it and you take action, eventually it'll become passionate. And then the motivation that you think that you lack, or the discipline that you think that you don't have, will just manifest itself. It'll become a byproduct of the things that you're interested in, because interest is basically curiosity. And a lot of the times when you're curious, you'll pursue that curiosity. So the motivation is already innate. It's already within you in the first place, right? And so you'll just pursue it. And so that's what we need to do. We need to basically take everything that we're interested in. I know I'm interested in education and all, like, I'm specifically interested in educational businesses, right? The ability to just sell knowledge, because knowledge can scale and everybody has unique knowledge to sell. And the thing is that people keep saying, well, AI is here and you're going to be able to get the information from AI. Like, sure, you can get information from AI, but like, people want transformation. They don't just want information. And not to sound like everybody else, but that's the truth, right? And so, and there's also nuances. Like, people want specific they want their hand to be held and stuff like that. So I say, and obviously, like, people are never going to stop buying books. Just because AI is out doesn't mean people are going to stop buying, books, right? Like, I think what's going to happen is, I obviously think that, like, blog content is eventually not going to be as valuable. I don't think blog content was ever really that valuable in the grand scheme of things, because of the fact that the only reason why people found blog content was because of Google. To some degree, nobody just goes to their favorite website and says, I'm going to read this blog today. No. We wake up with a problem that we want to solve for ourselves, and then we go on Google to try to solve the problem, and then we find a blog that talks about the problem that we have. So Google was like this mass distributor of content across the internet, and now that's changing, which is totally fine, right? But I think, like, if you have a book and a course and you sell those two things together, I think that, it still works, like, despite what people say. And so, like, I say all of this to say that, purpose makes progress. If you are doing something that is purposeful to you, like me, I'm building Purpose Canvas now, which you could probably understand the symbolism behind this name. Purpose is everybody has the capacity to do something purposeful. We all, purpose is very important to our daily lives, because when we are purposeful, we actually make progress. When we're not purposeful, we just move in motion, right? And so that's the first thing. Canvas is like drawing, it's like painting, but a canvas is the capacity to be anything that you want. Just like purpose, if you have a purpose canvas, then you have infinite potential to do whatever you want to do in this world that's purposeful to you, right? So that's what it means. And so I want to help people understand this. And through the intersection of painting the picture that you want for your life, you create value. And the value is the uniqueness, because everybody's different. Everybody has something unique to offer to the world. And your differences is what will make people want to listen to you and will make people want to contribute to you. Now, this doesn't have to be monetary or whatever the case may be, but your differences alone can help you build better relationships, for example. Like, if you want genuine friends and genuine people, go find things that you're interested in. Put yourself in those environments and talk about the things that interest you. And other people have interests as well, and they can get interested in things. The same things that you're interested in, they can get interested in. And when you talk to those people about the things that you're interested in, then you'll find your people, right? Funny how it works, right? It's not rocket science. So I say all this to say that I'm going to be writing more I say all this to say that true purpose makes progress. So, I'm going to be writing more and creating more about purpose and what it means and how does it look and how to make sure that what you're doing, like you're aligned with your goals and you have alignment and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, like if you're just basically following the goals that society has created for you and you're calling that success, that's not true success. That's just a burnout waiting to happen, right? Like that literally is what happened to me. I followed the systematic roadmap the society has created and realized that it's not good. It's not good. It's the easiest way to come crashing down and burning down, right? And, I think like another point with the relationships is like, if you're talking to people who you feel like are constantly draining your energy or constantly asking you for things who don't benefit you in any way, this is why you need to have purposeful relationships. You need to be purposeful about your health. You need to be purposeful about your work. Work is going to take a majority of your life. Even when you make it, if you become a millionaire, you watching this, if you become a millionaire, you're not going to just chill like you think you are. You're going to get bored of that and then you're going to want to do something that's purposeful. And so and your purpose is going to change in every phase of your life because as you evolve into a new being, it's only right that happens, right? Life is just, your life experience and how good your experiences are in this world is basically just an amalgamation of the sum total of the problems that you solve. And the moment that you solve all those problems and you keep solving problems, you start to find the joy in the solving of problems. So that means that instead of chasing happiness as some type of state of being, like you're always going to be happy, you just go through the journey and you realize that in the journey you will have phases where you are happy and you have phases where you're not happy. And that's normal. That's life. So this is what I'm doing. This is why I think purpose makes progress. If you're burnt out at work and you feel like you're tired of doing the same mundane tasks over and over again, figure out a way to make it interesting. Maybe it's quit that job and go find a topic that you're interested in and then go look for jobs that's in that topic. Or maybe it's start your own business, right? Like do something that you're genuinely interested in, because if you're working towards a life that you hate, you're only, just for, money and just to survive, just out of survival, you're actually closer to digging your grave than you think you are, right? I'll say it like this, if Monday feels like a jail cell and Friday feels like freedom, then what you need to do is basically remove yourself from that cage, because all you're doing is building something, whether it's your career or whatever, your family, whoever you're with, you're just building something towards a life of unhappiness. And you only have one life to live, and you don't even know how long you're gonna live. So it doesn't make sense to be unhappy, right? And I say to be unhappy, meaning in a constant state of being unhappy, right? So not saying that you should chase happiness, but you surely wouldn't want to be unhappy all the time. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And whenever you start to think that for whatever reason, the ideas that you have in your mind isn't gonna work, I want you to remember one thing. There's people out here selling water. And if that doesn't resonate because you say, well, water's a necessity, I want you to remember another thing. There's people out here paying different prices for water, okay? There's different brands of water, and there's people buying it. And I say all of that to say that water is free, okay? Like, water's realistically free. Yes, it's a necessity. Yes, we have like the water is filtered and all that other stuff. But the thing is that the general principle and concept is, if people can sell water, if Louis Vuitton can sell a jump rope that costs $1,000, why can't you find the value that makes you unique and bring that to life? And again, it doesn't have to be about selling, right? But it's more so that I know that you want to pursue something that you genuinely care about. Like me, I care about creation, I care about purpose, I care about helping people, and I will find the value for me in the creation of these things, in doing these things, in the process of doing this. And the sales and helping other people, like working with people, will be fun for me. But the actual product and everything, that can limit my creativity, but I understand that it's a means in order to survive. And so I need to detach my mind from like the outcome and just focus on the process, right? And that's what you need to do too. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.